Hey everybody, it's your old buddy the Dreamer, and stopping by Dreamland Studios today is an awesome musician with a very creative vision, Mr. Gary Pratt.
Hey,
Now,
Coach.
thank you for being here, Gary.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show.
So tell me, Gary, what is the inspiration behind your songwriting process and behind your musical vision?
Right now, I have an album out called "Something Worth Remembering," and God's my inspiration. Um, throughout my life, I look back at so many things that I went through, and maybe some bad decisions and good decisions too. But I know God was always watching over me, and He brought me. You know, through some things, and music helped me get through it too. But God is such a powerful thing in my life and guides me everywhere. But my newest project is actually dedicated to my brother who passed away. Actually, it's been about 4 years now, and I was in the studio doing a Christmas album at the time, and I got this idea to dedicate my next album to my brother, and I brought it to the producer, and we ended up recording 24 songs. We recorded both albums at the same time, and but the inspiration came, from the death of my brother and me wanting to do something, in his memory. And it was a long process, and picking the songs. Um, it ended up coming down to where I wrote some songs, and I also got some songs from some Nashville writers that I wanted to do something different this time, because usually when I usually do like EPs and it's all my own music, but this time I wanted to do a whole album, and I wanted to include some known writers just to get that extra push, and it worked actually. Some of the writers that are on the album, Reba McEntire's niece, Tony Arata, who wrote The Dance for Garth Brooks. So it was like a snowball thing, but God put it together for me. And I know that because, like I said, we were in a studio, we recorded all these songs, and 12 of them were for my Christmas album, but we were also recording this one at the same time. And I was a little bit exhausted, but we got through it. But we were recording these songs, like I said, some of mine, some of known writers, and I knew what I wanted to do with the album and dedicate to my brother, like I said, but it wasn't coming together. Everything sounded great, but there was just something missing. I couldn't figure out what it was, and it wasn't making sense to me. Then my producer Brian Cole brought this song into me called "Something Worth Remembering," and it was written by Tony Arata, like I mentioned his name. And when I heard that song, it not only reminded me of my brother, it reminded me of my life too. And it was the key to the album, because once I heard that song, I knew exactly what song was going to be first. I knew what song was going to be last. It was like a godsend. And we ended up titling the album "Something Worth Remembering." And it just made so much sense because, I want my brother to be remembered too. And things like that have happened to me throughout my life. Um, I have another business that was a godsend too, and I know that God put me in the right place at the right time, and that's how my whole life is inspired. I try to keep my mind open and try to listen to God and try to see where He's directed me. Um, so that is my backbone. He's my backbone.
Thank you for sharing that. That's very important. So another question that I have where would you like to see your music? What would you like to see? What would you like your music career to grow to in the next 2 years?
Where would I like to be in the next 2 years?
Yes.
Um, well, actually, that's up to him upstairs. But I in the next 2 years, I if I had the opportunity to tour, I definitely would do that. I would not ever turn that down. That's something that I haven't toured from, out of the States, or I've toured in the States, but not not far, like West Virginia, Nashville, Florida. But I'd like to expand a little bit on that. And maybe I've been opening up for a lot of different known, country music legends here in Pittsburgh area. And I'd like to maybe open up for, some newer country people, or even get out there on my own, but that's all, God's timing. That's something I would like to do. Um, uh, as far as anything else, I would like to do a Christian album, maybe. I have some Christian ideas. Right now, this album actually still has a lot of life in it, and we're getting ready to release the next single off the album, which is a ballad that I wrote called "When It's Our Love That's Lost." And I just talked to Michael Stover from MTS Records, and we were debating on what song, and we came to the same conclusion as we usually do. So that should be out, I think, within the next couple of weeks. So I'm real excited about that. It's a ballad. The first two songs we released on that album were more up tempo. The song "You Can Drink a Beer To" was the first release. The second song was called "Country to the Bone" that I wrote, and this one. So this people will see a different side of my voice and what I do, but I want to continue keep playing and singing and writing. I would like to have another album out. Maybe I sort of have a direction now. Before this album, I didn't have a direction in my music. It was just music. And now I'm out there and at my concerts, and I'm able to talk about, myself, my past, and maybe try to help people um, through different things. And hopefully my music has some messages that are positive to people. I like to take negative situations and turn them positive, because there's always a positive side to everything, no matter what it is. Um, I also like to have fun songs too, like a song you can drink a beer to, and like I said, "Country to the Bone," and there's "Till Your Boots Are Dirty," some real country gritty songs. But I also like to put in some ballads and songs that have some kind of a message to people that they're not alone, and other people can help. We can help each other. That's what we're here on Earth for, and hopefully that's what my music will do. I also have another business. I own a floral shop in Greensburg, which that's a whole nother story. Maybe we can talk about that some other time of how I got that. But in the future, I'm not going to say the next 2 years, but it really gave me the financial ability to do my music, to record my albums, because it takes money, and you just can't just go in the studio and think it's not going to cost money. It does, and there's a lot of aspects to that. But it really is the groundwork for my music, because it gave me the ability to afford it. And and with MTS Records and Michael Stover promoting my music, it's taken me to different heights, or I wouldn't be here sitting talking to you right now. So that's where my mind is right now. So hopefully that I just continue what I'm doing right now in the next 2 years, and maybe growing. I want to grow and help people.
Having an intact heart and an intact spirit. Why is that so important to songwriting and so important to creative content?
Why is spirituality important to writing? Is that what you're saying? You know what? I don't know really. I honestly, it comes from my heart, I guess. It's it's who I am, and the spirituality and God, and it's just who I am and who I want, to glorify. Without Him, I wouldn't be me. That's a hard question for me. It's just, it's not just that. It's being very artistic and creative, but I was born with that. So other people have other talents, but that is where my mind goes. Now, when it goes to doing book work or taxes or anything like that, I absolutely hate it because my mind does not go there. I'm a one-track mind. I get in, I get my orders done, like at the shop where I'm writing a song and I'm working on it, and it's like a fire inside me. And I think that's the spirit, the spirit that you're talking about, and God within me that pushes me to love that and do that. So it's basically who I am, and if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So it's the core of my being.
Well, the reason why I asked that is it is, I have found it very, music and intact spirit and intact heart really can't exist without the other. And it's when the spirit of creativity takes over, there's just, I've been told, and I've been told this by many people, and I've seen it in my own life. When the spirit of creativity takes over, that's when the magic happens. And that's when all of a sudden you have this beautiful piece of work, and I just really feel like the spirit and creativity are boundless, and are limitless. Well, that's why I asked you that question.
I share a story with you real quick. Um, a while back ago, my cousin was doing some work for Relay for Life. It's for Cancer Society and research. And I was doing a couple of things with him, walking and, because it's like a walk they do for a whole weekend. And they get funds for cancer. Well, she was doing a video for it and she wanted a song wrote. I was pretty new to the whole program, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this, but I'll try, And I was up working on it. I said, I don't know about this, I said, okay, I'll hit it again tomorrow. And I woke up and I had the whole song in my head, and I wrote it in like 5 minutes. And you can catch it out on YouTube. It's called the Relay for Life. So if you can, anyone that's has died or is going through cancer treatments, it's a great song for that program. So and I'd be happy to share it with people if they want to play it at their Relay for Lives, because it's all over the country, and you're more than welcome to use it if you like it. So check that out.
Thank you. That's very generous. That's a beautiful, beautiful offer. Thank you so very much. So the next thing I was thinking about, the next thing just kind of coming to me is, what do you think is the best thing that you can say to anybody who is struggling deep down inside our heart, who is struggling deep down inside their soul. And they're struggling to find out who they are. They're struggling to find out what their purpose is. They're struggling to find out, do they have a purpose? Well, in relation to getting into music, getting into the arts, what would you say to that person that's struggling?
Someone that's struggling personally, first of all, you're not alone. Don't ever think that. No matter what situation you're in, you're not alone. There's other people out there just like you that have been in that situation. I've been through a lot in my life, and I used to, I guess I didn't know who I was, because I used to say and do things that I thought people wanted me to do or say. And it took me a long time to figure out, I am who I am. God made me who I am. And I shouldn't have to be like somebody else. For younger people, I'd like to tell them, be yourself, because the most different people, and even people that may have, problems, maybe talking, maybe a speech impediment or anything like that, God uses the most imperfect people to do his glorious work. I truly believe that. And that makes you who you are. As a kid, you should, you look maybe at a jock or someone that you think they got everything. They got the pretty girl and all that. And then, and you're a nerd, It ends up usually, the nerd ends up makes a lot more money than the jock ever will. But, that's just sort of one thing. The other thing is, everybody, don't matter who you are, you have scars. You have scars. You have wounds inside. You may have wounds on the outside. Maybe you broke an arm, or you got cut real bad, or maybe you're disfigured or whatever. But those wounds can heal. And I've been promoting recently. I did a couple Christian shows at churches, and a lot of people try to hide their scars, and I think it's better if people show their scars, because they've already been healed, or they're in the healing process. Just like, say you're grieving over someone, and people ask how you're doing or whatever, you should just tell them how you're doing. You're not doing well, and you should help other people that may be in that situation. People that are hurting, you should, and if you've been through that situation, maybe you made that wrong decision, went down the wrong road, and you're doing great now. Help somebody else that's in that situation, no matter what kind of situation it may be. Maybe it's just a depression situation, or and I shouldn't say just a depression situation, but you're in a depression, or maybe someone's in my alcohol abuse. Anything that you maybe have done and went through, you should try to help other people and watch their scars heal. And when you are helping other people, you're actually out of yourself, and you're helping yourself in the long run too. You just don't know it. So I just want people to help each other, and know that nobody is alone, and there's help out there for anybody that's going through anything. And life's worth living. So hope that answers your question. I start rambling, so you can always stop me, but I can go on and on. But I just want just that you're not alone, and being different is a good thing.
I absolutely agree with that. And I'm glad you said that. For anybody who is new to my show, this is your way on the Dreamer, and this is my little place in the universe, Dreamland Studios. Welcome, and I am talking to awesome artist, and awesome artist, a very inspirational, powerful, positive artist, Mr. Gary Pratt. And we are talking about his music. We are talking about kind of the spiritual side of life and what it has to do with creating and developing your craft, your art. So hang out. This is going to be cool. Thank you very much for watching right now. So my next question would be, out of all of your new music and the music you've worked on for the last 12 months, what are the landmark songs that people need to check out that you're most happy with?
That I wrote, or okay. I first of all, you got to check out the whole album. Something Worth Remembering. It's really a life story, and the first song on the album is called "You Got to Jump In," and it's just about taking chances and not being afraid to go for your dreams and having faith, that you'll get through it. And that's the first song on the album. Now, the last song on the album, "Something Worth Remembering," again, was written by Tony Arata, who wrote the dance for Garth Brooks. It's about doing good for others, and even if you've been down the wrong road or whatever, you can still change your life and do good, and do something that your life is worth remembering, because we're not going to be here forever. So that's the first song and last song. Now the songs in between, it's about life. Life happens. It's about positive messages. It's about maybe losing someone. It's about falling in love. One song I do have to mention that I wrote, and I'm very proud of how it turned out, is a duet I did with somebody else on the MTS Records, Savannah Nider. Me and my producer and I drove down to Nashville and recorded it in Nashville with Savannah. She was living there at the time, and it's called "To Find Us." And it's actually, things in life sometimes don't work out the way you want them to. And this song is about a relationship two relationships actually did not work out. But from both of those relationships, you have two people that are hurt, people that their hearts are broken, and they end up finding each other. And if they wouldn't have lost those other people, they wouldn't have found each other. And sometimes that's how God works too. You might lose a job or something, but you don't know what's right around the bend. It could be a much better job, or something that you never thought of before. And that's happened to me in my life. But "To Find Us" is a great song about losing things and thought you'd never get over it, and then wham bam, your life is 1,000 times, million times better. But the album is a great album. I have other songs out there. A song called "Don't Walk There in My Shadow," and it's about a father who maybe wasn't the best father in the world, and he doesn't want his son to walk down the same road that he did. And it's called "Don't Walk There in My Shadow," because you got better walking to do. Every parent wants their child, doesn't matter if it's a good or bad parent. Everybody wants their child to be a better person. So that's what that song's about. But you got to check out, my YouTube videos, check out my webpage, www.garyprattmusic.com. Takes you to all the sites. You can hear my music there. You can get my music on Amazon and Diesel and iTunes and Spotify. But I really appreciate it. If you're listening, check out my music and email me. Let me know if you like it or you don't like it. Whatever. But I'm really happy to be able to explain who I am and, be proud of it.
So thank you for sharing that. So how did you feel actually? What would you say is the major inspiration for how you first got involved in music?
Well, I've always been a lover of music ever since I was a kid. Um, and my parents said I could dance before I could talk, but I've always just loved music. And I think the first time I really realized I wanted to be like in a band and do music is a cousin of mine who passed away actually. Um, he was a drummer in a band. I think I was about 10 years old. We went to this picnic and it was like a lot of family members and that. And I just was memorized by the band. They were in a garage playing, and I was just like, oh, when I grow up, I want to be in a band, All the other kids were out there running around doing whatever they were doing, and I was like, I was glued to that chair, and I wasn't gonna move. And when I was 15, my parents, we advertised. I got a band together. We practiced in my parents' basement, and we played pretty much every weekend. But all the people in my band were older than I. They were like in their 21. So we were playing clubs that I probably shouldn't have been playing in, but my parents were always there. What was really strange though, I know this one club, I was like maybe 16, 17, and they wouldn't let me stay inside the club on the breaks. I had to go outside. I'm thinking, that doesn't seem right, So there's me and my parents standing out in the alley and on the breaks just because I wasn't old enough to be in the club. But I was old enough to go up on stage and sing. And my parents have been really supportive and used to play at. I opened up for a lot of people when I was young at a place called Country Paradise Park, and they had a house band, and I would go up and do like 4 or 5 songs before the big artists. So I've been doing it quite a long time, and I'm happy where I'm at right now. And I don't think I would have been ready to talk like I talk now, a few years ago actually. But I'm confident in what I'm doing, and I'm so happy that people are listening to my music. But I've known from a very, very early age that, this is me. I did one time quit. I was in Nashville, moved back home, and wasn't really happy with the Nashville scene, actually, only because everyone's doing the same thing down there, and everybody's playing for free, and you have to have a real job, plus you got to be out there playing. And I was just like, I come back with a little bit sour, and I said, I don't think that's for me anymore. And but I was miserable, and I probably wasn't very nice to people either. I don't know, but I wasn't happy, and that's another thing. If you're an artist, or if you like doing something, and you quit, like people, I don't think they should. I think if you love doing something and it makes you happy, you should pursue that. And like I said, I quit for a year. I wasn't happy. Then I decided, something told me, or I heard it somewhere. I'm not sure, but if you're, why are you quitting? You should. I figured if I had to sing in my basement the rest of my life, I'd still be happy, And just like now, from years from now, and this is as far as I get, I'm happy. I'm still going to be singing. I'm still going to be out there, doing what I do, because it's part of me, and I didn't want to lose part of me, which I did for a while. But that's a lesson I learned. I'm happy where I'm at right now.
I think that with, well, what I was going to ask you What is your favorite experience? What do you really love about being in the studio and writing and recording your music?
What I love being in the studio is not just what I do, but what like my engineer Doug Casper, the producer, um, uh, the guy who did he's like the guy who did most of the music is named Adam Ernest, and the collaboration between all of us, I think is what I love the most, because I even took a song in that I had written years and years ago. It's called Number One Fan, which is on the album. And um, we changed it completely. We updated, and just that creativeness is what I really like. Just seeing how something that I wrote could be changed to more modern, because it was a little bit older sounding, and I just like the collaboration between all of us as a team. um, and I learned a lot too. The producer and engineer, um, having a producer was wonderful, because he made me push myself more than what I would have. So I learned a lot about myself, about my vocal ability, and things that people are looking for and like to hear. But it's just a collaboration of everybody that makes a project a project.
What is the backstory to the single Number One Fan?
Oh, the backstory to that. Okay. Um, we haven't released that as a single yet, but it is on the album. I actually wrote that for my mom um, years and years ago, because she's still, I think, my number one fan. But um, it was about just her sitting in the audience and watching me on stage, and she's my number one fan, and she's praying for me that I'll make it, that my dreams come true. That story, that's sort of the type of story that it was. When we took it into the studio, it ended up becoming a love story between a girl that follows a band, and she's just in love with that singer, and she's his number one fan, but she wants to be so much more, and meanwhile he's on stage, and she's thinking, no, he really, that'll never happen, but that's my dream. And she was praying for him that his dreams come true. And meanwhile, every song that he was writing and he was singing out there was actually about her. And and at night he would pray that her dreams would come true. So it ends up being a love story. Um, and the production on this song is amazing. And I have Adam Ernest and Brian Cole so much to thank for um, for us rewriting the song. And so that's how that whole song sort of has two stories, but that's what it's all about.
I've heard it, and I really like it. I'm a fan of your music,
Thank you.
and I strongly recommend anybody who's watching this to check out the support links in the description box below this interview, and to listen to your music, because when I first heard Number One Fan, that touched my heart so deeply, because I I get it, I get it, I understand, and I thought to myself, man, I can't wait to talk to this artist.
Well, I'm glad you felt that way. I appreciate that. Like I said, it's all God given. So.
Would you say if you had a chance to, well, Usually I say go on a national tour, but go on a worldwide tour. Where would you like to go? Where would you like to tour? Where would you like to go?
Like the tour. Um, I think first of all, around here, like in the States, but as far as maybe like the UK, I've had a lot of great reactions from people, and my song has actually been even number one on the iTunes charts. Both two singles that were released, the first two in South Africa. So, I mean, I want to go where people are listening to my music and they like me. I don't want to go anywhere people don't like me, but it's wherever I'm to go, I will go. But I would like to just I would like to tour UK. I would like to really try that. Um, yeah, because there's a lot of places to go there, and people seem to like my music so far over there. I actually even in Holland, I'm nominated for an award for the Holland Red Carpet Awards. Um, that's coming up soon. So I just found out this past week actually that um, I'm up for a couple awards for there. So that's interesting. Um, but anywhere my music takes me, I'd like to go. But going to the UK would be really a lifetime experience.
That's outstanding and congratulations, by the way, for being nominated. That's
Thank you. Thank you. I also was nominated for Josie Music Awards this past year, the Hollywood Music Media Awards, and something that is like the best thing that happened to me musically this past in 2021 was I actually got an award as U.S. Male Singer through the International Singer Songwriters Association, and it's a nice big award. I wish I had it here to show you. It's crystal and everything. Only bad thing about that, because of the pandemic, I was sitting inside the mall actually waiting for something, believe it or not, to be engraved at a place called Things Remembered. And my album's called Something Worth Remembering, which I thought was a little bit weird. But I'm sitting there on the wall just because trying to stay away from people and listening to the show because it was all on the internet, and I was listening to the show, and when they announced my name, I was like, wow, and I was like, I think I even yelled, and people probably looked at me, but I was like, okay. So then I couldn't even get up and say a thank you speech. I really wanted to, but I didn't. But actually, they did contact all the winners, and we got to send in an acceptance speech that they aired on a program. But I'm very proud of that award, and I do wish I had it to show you, but it's really cool. So I'm really proud of that.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, that's awesome. Hey, for anybody, I think to achieve something that they really work hard at, that they put in long, frustrating hours, put so much creative energy into something to get a little bit of recognition. And to have somebody just say, I can tell that you put a lot of work into what you're doing. Thank you. You know, and that's so such a wonderful thing, such a wonderful thing. Um, what are the brands that you would like to give a big shout out?
The what? The brands? Oh, the fans. Oh, gosh. I have a whole group called the Kick Up Dancers. They come out to follow me all the time. And, half the time it's like they're out there dancing. They're part of the show. And I know how to dance, I think one dance. I go out with one dance. I dance with them. But they're wonderful. I have so many like family and friends that follow me. I do want to shout out to Kate Zoller. She's my sidekick on stage. I love having a duet partner, and Kate and I hooked up about 2 years ago, and she's never been on stage to do, but she always wanted to, and she is actually a music minister at a church, and but she is such a wonderful person. And we're really becoming a good team out on stage. And I'm really proud of what she's doing, and I'm glad she's with me on stage, and we're becoming really, really good friends. And I just love her. So I have to give a shout out to her, and of course my family and friends, and Michael Stover with MTS Records. Doug Casper with Tonic Studios, Brian Cole, producer, Adam Ernest, who's an artist in his own right. Actually, he just signed with Sony Records about a year ago, I believe. And I think he's in a group called After Midway, and they're touring. So Adam, thank you for all your help. And the writers that are in Nashville that let me record their songs, I want to thank them too. And also a sponsor of mine, Gone Country Hats. They're out of Florida, which I want to stop there. I was just thinking about them today. When I'm down there, I go to Florida once in a while and sing down there. And a friend of mine lives in Orlando, and that's where their company is. So I just want to stop in and see them. Other than that, just all the people that vote for me. There's a radio station called WNHE in Nashville that keeps playing my music. Every Monday night, people are supposed to call in and just request my music. It's real quick. 1-615-492-1777 every Monday from 8 to 9 Eastern time. Call in, and Buck McCoy is the DJ. He just has a recording. Just say, I want to hear Gary Pratt. And I'd appreciate that. I have a lot of people all over the states that call in every Monday night. And one Monday I forgot to remind everybody, and I get all these calls. We supposed to call in tonight? We're calling in tonight. But they all have my back. And without them, half of my songs wouldn't be played as much as they are. So, and get me on the charts, on the Euro charts and all that. So, independent charts. And, without the people that support my music and listen to my music, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So, that award that I got is much theirs as it is mine. So those are the people that are the most important to me, and I should shout out to. But Kate, you're wonderful.
Outstanding. True appreciation. That's how I describe you. So you're full of true appreciation and true spirit, and I'm honored that you would take your time and you would hang out with me at Dreamer and Studios today.
Oh, anytime. I had a good time. I like I said, I ramble a little bit, but that
all right.
You put up with that, I'll come back.
You've been watching Hanging with Dreamer with your host, your little buddy, the Dreamer here, and broadcasting live from Azusa, California, in Dreamland Studios. I've been talking to Mr. Gary Pratt, a very wonderful, very inspirational, very well-recognized, well-respected musician, songwriter, and performer. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He loves what he does. And follow all the support links in the description box below. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.